back to my channel. And if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for every time I upload some new content. And if you watched my last video, you know I'll be filming 3 videos in one day. So this is the second video of the day. I honestly didn't feel like doing my makeup, and I honestly didn't feel like putting on clothes. So you're getting the relaxed Nisha once again. But if you can't tell by the title already, this is another story time video, and this is technically a part of the last story time video that I uploaded on Friday, which is my most toxic situationship that I was in. So this is the time when I had cheated on my ex, like my last official boyfriend, because after him I really never had a boyfriend after that. So yeah, let's just get right into the story. So if you watched the last video, you kind of know the timeline. This happened, well, we started a relationship in January 2016, but we were talking around November 2015, around the time that my dad had passed away. So yeah, so that's the timeline. So we gotta give him a name. Crap, I'm so bad with names. We're gonna call him Jack. So me and Jack had worked at the same place. We worked at the same place. He didn't go to my school or anything. Jack is 4 or 5 years older than me, something like that. So this is when, well, I guess I can say the job. I can say the job. So this is when I was working at Greyhound. So this is probably my sophomore, yeah, this is like my sophomore year of college. Well, yeah, of the fall semester. So me and Jack worked at the same place. I actually did not like him, like, at all. But we worked like 2 different times. Like I had worked overnight, and he would come in like right before like I was like leaving out for the morning. So I didn't like him at all. Like he had a really smart mouth. He was very sarcastic, and like I'm sarcastic at times too, but he took like sarcasm to like the extreme different level. So every morning, like, we started talking a little bit more and things of that nature. And then when I found out my dad was very, very sick, well, more sick in that he had actually had a year to live, me and Jack were talking a little bit more so he can like try to comfort me in a way. So this is around the time when I was going back and forth to Maryland to visit my dad and his condition, and then eventually my dad had passed away. So Jack was very he was very sympathetic to me when my dad had passed away, and he was like really there for me. And then I started to basically get an attachment to him, and I basically started to like him. So fast forward until January, and that's when we basically became a couple. So everything was going really, really well. Like he was super caring, and he was always trying to comfort me because I just lost my dad. And so so we started dating around January, and then, you know, my birthday was like the next month, and Valentine's Day. So we had planned like this really cute Valentine's Day / birthday outing, and yeah. So I had lived on campus, and Jack had still lived with his parents. So the only time like we would actually like, you know, meet up to, you know, do we would always get hotels. So closer to May 2016, me and Jack were having a conversation about like what I was going to do, because basically this is oh wait, no, this is my junior year. Yeah, so this is my junior year. So it was the junior year, my fall, the fall semester when I met him, going into my junior spring semester. So we were talking about like what we were going to do if we wanted to, you know, remain serious, since next year will be my last year of school. So we had talked, and I was saying, well, school is getting a little bit more pricier for me, because I had also lost one of my scholarships because I couldn't do the community service that I needed to do, because I kept going back and forth to Maryland to visit my dad. So my schooling costs had basically went up on me, and I honestly couldn't like really afford it, and you know, to take care of myself. So me and him had a talk, and I was just like, yeah, well, you know, if you want, we can, you know, get our own apartment. We can, you know, split the bills and da 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 da. So mind you, me and him worked at the same place until I had helped him with his resume to get a better job somewhere else. So I think around this time, this is when he was about to start his new job as well. So we talked about it, and he was like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. And so, you know, you can stay here or whatever. Now, this is kind of where like one of the red flags should have popped up. So like before I had even, you know, introduced that idea, I wasn't really planning on staying in Richmond. So like I asked him, I was like, well, if I move back to Maryland, would you move to Maryland with me or whatever? And he told me flat out no. So that should have been the first red flag when I knew that he wasn't going to do almost any and everything for me. But anyways, so we decided to get our own apartment. We were looking around so it could be still closer to my school, and so I didn't have to, you know, either pay a lot for Uber or whatever the case may be, or him dropping me off. So we found an apartment that was probably no more than like 10 minutes from the school. Rent was like, it was like 8 something, because I knew we split it. It was like 8, I want to say it was like $8.64, something like that. I don't know. Or maybe, no, it was $8.50, because I think we split it for $25. All utilities was included besides electricity. So we found the apartment, we moved in, everything was completely great. So actually, let me backtrack a little bit. So when we were talking, like between November and January, I told him that I had like certain requirements. So I told him I was a nympho. I told him about my personality disorder that I have. And like I basically told him all of that. So that is very important. I want you guys to remember this. I told him before we started dating what were my requirements for in a relationship, sex-wise, and that I have a personality disorder. Remember that. Anyways, so we found the apartment, moved in, everything was great. So I was going to work overnight and being a full-time student, and he was only working because he had stopped going to his community college. So I was doing all of the house chores. I was cooking, cleaning, making sure he had clean clothes for work, still going to school, and, you know, being a full-time employee at this point. And so like when he would come home from work and, you know, I wanted to, you know, have like some, you know, sexy time, he would always kind of like try to push me to the side, or like he would tell me, I'm gonna do it after I finish playing a game, because he would only go to work and then come home and play the game. And so like every time I would ask for sex, he would always, you know, try to push it off, or like wait until he's done playing the game when I'm probably either dead asleep or about to get ready for work. So at this point, it was kind of getting a little bit irritating, because I was literally doing everything in the house. Like I said, he did not do anything. This man was spoiled. Like, and then I started to think, you know, like he grew up with mostly women in his household, and that his mother like spoiled him like a lot. And I loved his mother. His mother was super, super nice to me. But like he was like legit, you know, like my mama's boy. So, you know, like I can only, you know, do so much to, you know, relieve my my sexual tensions. And so like I wouldn't say we didn't never have sex, but it was just like not to my requirements that I told him. So with like all the stress of school, the stress of work, and like trying to maintain all of the bills and, you know, trying to keep him happy, I can feel myself becoming overwhelmed. And that's when I kind of realized that's when my personality disorder really started to mess up. So if you're new here, I have dissociative identity disorder. Basically, it's a personality disorder when there is more than one personality. It's kind of like bipolar disorder, but it's completely different. I think I have a video on my channel about it, but I just don't want to get into it on this video. I'm trying to keep this video pretty short. But yeah, that's when I started to realize like my personality disorder was messing up. So fast forwarding into about the ending of 2016 to the beginning of 2017, me and Paul from the last story time has started communicating again. We were talking about like our plans after graduation, like what we wanted to do, and blase blase. And he was asking me if I was going to move back to Maryland. And I was telling him like, no, I'm not moving back to Maryland. I may stay here. I have a job here. I kind of built a home with my boyfriend at this point. So I'm thinking I'm going to stay here for a little bit to see like where, you know, like our relationship takes us or whatever. And so, and this is where I made a mistake. And I can definitely say this is on me. But then I started telling Paul like what was going on in me and Jack's relationship, like how he would, you know, not really have sex with me a lot, and he really doesn't do anything around the house and things of that nature. And he was like, well, why is he not having sex with you? And I was just like, well, I mean, I don't know. He's always claiming he's too tired, but I mean, I'm tired too, and I have certain requirements because Paul knew my requirements, and he's just not, you know, meeting my expectations because I've told him this before. This is what I required before we even started dating. So Paul was like, man, he's crazy, because I'm not gonna go into the conversation, but he was basically saying like he's crazy to not have sex with me and da 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 da. So I started to see Paul more and more on campus because they were doing a lot of like senior activities, because our graduation wasn't until May, but like they do a lot of stuff for seniors at the beginning of the year as well. So we had like a senior coronation and all this good stuff, and you know, me and Paul would like always like see each other, so we just started communicating and just like talking in general. So fast forward until about let's say April, definitely April of 2017. So this is when basically all my classes are pretty much over at this point. I passed all of my courses with honors. I think my graduating GPA was like a 3.5 or 3.6. It was up there. It was definitely up there. I had just won a competition for my entrepreneurship class. I won second place out of like 80 students. So like I was like on a complete high at this point. I'm like, yeah, I'm graduating. I'm the first one out of my sisters to complete college. I think I am technically a first generation college student, because I know my mom didn't go to college, but on my dad's death certificate it said that he went to college, but I'm not sure if he finished, because I'm pretty sure me and my dad never had that conversation that he finished college. But I was pretty much a first generation college student, like within my family. So I was doing a lot of celebrating. My two best friends at that time were coming down to celebrate with me. I had a very like supportive man. Me and him had our puppy child, which was Princess. If you guys are like an OG subscriber, then you'll know who Princess was and how much she meant to me. And I just felt like it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me because at that time I was getting like really, well, I wasn't becoming more busy with schoolwork because obviously I was done with schoolwork, but me and Jack were still not having, you know, as much sex as I wanted. So, oh, and I think around this, no, was it around this time that he got his promotion? No, I don't think this was the time he got promoted, but I think like his shift had changed at work or something. So I was, you know, planning on doing a lot of celebrating leading up to graduation, and of course Paul was going to be in the area. So as I was like, you know, talking to most of my friends who were graduating on campus, we were trying to figure out like what we wanted to do. And Paul was like, oh, well, I'm going to such and such party and da 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 da. And, you know, you and your best friends should, you know, come and join us. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. I'm pretty sure like Jack was going to want to be there. So yeah. So let's fast forward to the night before graduation. The night before graduation, we had went to this club. Was this? Yeah, we went to a club. And so this other guy that Jack had thought I used to talk to was there. But he was actually trying to get with one of my best friends. So he thought like I was doing something with that guy, because like I wouldn't say I was all up on him, but like I was really close trying to whisper in his ear because it was like super loud in the club that we were in. So he had left like the lower area that we were in, and like he had grabbed his homeboy or whatever, and he pretty much left the club. So me and my best friends, we had went outside, tried to talk to him and try to explain what happened. Then we all went back on the inside the club. Paul was also there at the club. So Paul kept eyeing me with Jack. So I'm pretty sure Jack knew who he was, because I told him about Paul and how much like shit we were in. And so he was like, so is that the guy you used to talk to? And I was like, yeah, we used to talk and da 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 da. So graduation happened, and then the night of graduation, me and my best friends had went to another party because they was going to leave the next morning. So we went to the party after graduation. Jack did not come with us. So it was just me and my best friends and like some of the girls that I had graduated with. And then I eventually saw Paul. So I had got like extremely drunk. Extremely drunk. And me and Paul were talking and blase. And then I pretty much don't remember what happened after that. I just know the next morning, after my graduation, when I got home, well, no, not even the next morning, probably like 2 days after that, after we had took my best friends home and like we had came back to Richmond, Paul kept hitting up my phone. And I had like stepped away from my phone. I think I had hopped in the shower or something, and Jack had saw the name in my phone, and I had Paul's name in my phone as Worsome. So Jack had went through my phone, and then he basically saw that I had sent Jack some very revealing pictures. And he was like, so when I got out the shower, he like threw my phone at the wall, and he was just like, who is this nigga you sending pictures to, and da 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 da, and calling him daddy and da 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 da. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't remember calling anyone daddy or anything like that, especially not sending someone pictures. So when he went through the messages and showed me, like, so most, I wish I really still have these messages, but most of the thread was just like, you know, me and Paul just talking, like having a general conversation about, you know, graduation and stuff. And then it was just like literally like pictures and me saying shit to him. And I was like, I don't remember even like sending that. Like the pictures that I sent him were like very old, like nudes and lingerie pictures that I've sent to Jack. So like they're not even like recent. And so I was just like, I don't remember sending him that. Like, I don't remember sending him that. So I started crying because like I couldn't like really remember like me sending him that. And then I was just like, oh shit. Basically Nisha, which is my alter ego other personality, sent these pictures to him. And so I was trying to explain to him, like, remember I was telling you about that personality disorder I got and da-da-da-da-da. And he was trying, he basically said, like, I made all of that up. Actually, you know what? I think I got a screenshot. I think I still have a message telling him about that. So, and this is before, like, we started actually dating. So if I do have it, I'm putting the screen. And so I was just like, yeah, I don't remember sending that, but, you know, probably Nisha sent them. And then he was just like, you're making that up because you got caught and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, no. Like, I literally don't remember sending this man none of this shit. So I had got dressed. I had left the house crying. And, like, I had called Paul. And I was just like, what the fuck happened last night? Because I don't remember anything. And I don't even remember, like, sending you these pictures. And he was like, well, nothing really happened. Like, you and your friends were just partying. You had danced on me. And that was pretty much it. And, like, I think he said, like, I had kissed his forehead. Or, like, he kissed my forehead. Or something like that. And so I was just like, okay, well, what prompted me to send you these pictures? And he was like, man, I don't know. I was shocked my damn self when you sent it to me. Because you seemed happy in your relationship besides, you know, the sex part. But I didn't ask for them or anything. And so I was just like, wow, like. So I ended up going back home. Jack was like blasting like sad, depressing music and everything like that. And so we basically broke up. Although we were still living together, we did try to make it work. That's when I basically started going to my therapy and things like that. And we did try. It didn't work. After I had moved out in 2018, we still fooled around a little bit. And then like he slowly, actually, I think when we broke up, that's probably the most time we had sex, honestly. Which is sad and ridiculous. But when we broke up, that was probably the most time that we had sex in a very short amount of time. But when I moved out to my own apartment, he slowly stopped hitting me up and, you know, stopped trying to communicate with me. And then that's pretty much when I found out he started talking to another girl who eventually was his girlfriend. And she's super pretty. I think she looks like me a little bit, but not as pretty. But, I mean, whatever. So, yeah. So, that's the time that I had cheated on my ex, basically. I mean, it is cheating because I was sending pictures to someone else, but it's whatever. If you ever cheated on someone, let me know in the comment section and how you cheated and why you cheated. That was probably that was the only time I actually cheated, like, on a boyfriend. Like, I don't do the cheating stuff. It's not, I see no point. If I'm not happy, I'll leave. I mean, I can't say that I was not happy. I was very happy with him emotionally, but I just wasn't pleased sexually, if that makes sense. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.